Welcome to the Window Wisdom Podcast, your guide to replacement windows and more. Hi, I'm your host, Ted Kirk, and this is episode number 24. Today, we've got a special guest with us, Sean Newberry, and we're going to be talking about repairing versus replacing versus remodeling and what that means when it comes to your windows and doors. And it's been a while since we've had a podcast, so I'm excited to get back to this. And, just because we haven't published anything lately, if you go back and listen, we have some great content. It's still very relevant. But today, we're happy to have Sean with us. So, Sean, thanks for being on the podcast.
You're welcome, man. Glad to be here.
Well, let's jump right in. So, Sean, your background actually, and the way we really like is you're not a salesman,
right?
You're, you came a little bit from the construction industry.
That's right.
So, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I started installing storm doors, couple doors and windows here and there. But yeah, I mean, I'm from the field, so I see things from a very practical installation, construction type way. And I think actually when you and Jonathan and I met was at a Cracker Barrel over breakfast. And I said, I'm going to say right off the top, I am not a salesman. And you said, perfect. You're just what we're looking for.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about some things that may help some homeowners when making some decisions. There's a lot of ways that you can tackle a project. A lot of times there's things that, people are calling us about, whether it's wood rot or foggy windows or, just functionality issues. And we want to just talk about, some of the choices that people have to make when it comes to repairing versus replacing or remodeling, specifically when it applies to windows and doors. So can you hit on, just a little bit about, the folks that you run into that just want to repair something? And let's just be clear on the podcast. We don't do repairs. It's not our specialty. We're a window replacement company. We specialize in the Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows, which, we can talk all day long about the science behind that product and why it's the best option for you. But can you just speak on, why we don't do repairing and kind of what your experience has been with customers who just want to take that route?
Yeah, I think that customers come to the table with the idea of repairing because they probably heard that or thought of it somewhere else. We only can find the value in something if we have something to compare it to. So, a lot of times I will go into a home and meet with a customer and, they'll say, hey, I just want to do the glass, get the glass reglazed or refaced, and sometimes they even use terms that they're not even quite sure what they mean. They just kind of maybe heard them on YouTube or a podcast or something, or a friend told them. And when it comes to repairing, there's not a lot of inherent value there. There are times to replace things. Like I have a pair of boots, Aldo boots that I've had for 7 years, and I'll repair those things all the time because they're my favorite thing in the world. But those are very different from windows and doors, which, if you think about a home, you have 30 to 40 openings in your home that are operating 24/7 and that's the only thing that's standing between you and the elements. We need to look at things a little bit differently. So repairing also, you're going to, invest some money into it. It doesn't even get you back to square one on the window or the door that you're talking about. And so people should be more reluctant to do repairs. If you want to start there, that's fine in thinking about it, but you really need an expert to come in and partner with you and get you past repair and move on through the process.
Yeah, at best, it's a Band-Aid. You may get some of the function back, and there's been plenty of studies. People are just having to lay out the money to repair something. They're rather resentful about it.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, they don't like it because at the end of the project and the repair, it's just a matter of time before this happens again, and it's almost going to be a consistent thing in the back of your mind. There's no peace about it. And logically, it's not the end of the the repair. It's just a matter of time before you do it again.
Yep, you're stuck in that vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Well, we do a lot of replacement, and there's nothing wrong with replacement. Let's talk about that. Obviously, you can improve the form and get some better benefits. Greater energy efficiency. Et cetera. Can we talk about some of the benefits of replacing and how that typically makes the customers feel?
We take an approach to replacing windows with, like you referred to earlier, the Infinity from Marvin window. It's definitely going to be the best material available on the market to use as a replacement. We do have a lot of customers who want to just keep and maintain the architectural value in their home, their look, their curb appeal, and our window and our tactics are able to do that. And that's great. And their home's going to be great. They're going to get their ROI. And so we do have a lot of customers that do that, and we're prepared to help them and guide them through that process.
I'm glad you brought up that point, because so many times when people go to replace and they're putting in, let's say, a cheap vinyl plastic window, it just changes the look of their home. They're losing a lot of light and view. And, that's one of the great things about our product is, we can complement the existing architecture of the home. So I'm glad you brought up that point. So,
yeah.
Well, let's talk about, one of the main things that I really wanted to hit on in the podcast. And since we have really got into selling this product and, a whole plethora of products that actually can improve your life and the function of your windows and doors, and our expertise with it, we've really started to do a lot more remodel type projects. And I know those are fun. They're fun for the homeowners. They're really great for us to be able to just share those experiences, and I tell you, people just feel so rewarded when they do it. Us as the contractors feel rewarded, but the homeowners, I mean,
it's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah. Can you talk about maybe some experience that you have in that area?
Yeah, well, like I said, these are definitely my favorite things to do because we get to, like you said, have fun. We get to access that creative part of our brain, us and the customer and the homeowner.
And by the way, Sean's official title is a design consultant. So you really get to apply that, right?
Correct. Yeah. I am, I'm the guy that's staying up late reading through design magazines, local and national, trying to understand why certain colors go well together. I've had the privilege of working with two well-known interior designers in the Atlanta area, and they've taught me a lot. Like their safety and consistency and what not to do and why to do certain other things. And so I enjoy taking that to my, the opportunities I have with customers, because I love what I do, and passion will beget passion. And who doesn't want to work with somebody who's passionate about what they do? And so, we're not trying to always push that narrative, but, when there's an opportunity, that's what I see remodeling is. As an opportunity. We have an opportunity to do something that's going to bring, joy, and to bring some value to a space or a wall or a home that it was previously really not having. And we move from that resigned or resentful space in the repair, and replacing side. And then we get to go to something more positive in the remodeling side. So yeah, it's definitely one of my favorite things to do.
And I know you're a pretty innovative guy, and you've completed a lot of these projects with plenty of homeowners. Can you talk about some of those experience? What kind of things are we talking about here? Let's give some examples.
Well, I'll tell you one of my favorite ones is we'll just call her Rebecca for this example. She has an A-frame home that her grandfather actually helped build. And so it's been in her family for 3 generations. And we were the 4th company she called, and we were the only ones to stay in her driveway when we saw the house. She said everybody else pulled up, took one look at the house, and literally just U-turned, which is crazy. I mean, us being, ethical folks, we don't really see how that's possible, but there's those folks out there. That's
what
fine.
was the problem?
A 1920s A-frame house
Falling apart.
They just didn't want to deal with it. It just doesn't look like your traditional, colonial style homes that will work in a lot.
Yeah. Challenging project.
Very challenging.
Yeah.
But I see it as like I said, just fun, and I have a passion for it. So I want to meet this lady. I want to know about this house and
EPA led containment.
Oh
I can think of a lot of things. All right.
No test needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm glad we clarified that. So what did we do for Rebecca?
Well, we met with her and got to know her and her story and really understand her vision for the home. We did a lot of listening. She did a lot of talking, and we wanted to know how we could help. And we actually met one more time before anything got started with myself, her, and our construction manager, because there were a lot of shape changes we were doing. Yeah. And we were actually able to do the construction side with her and solve that part for her, so she didn't have to go out and find her own crew or anything like that.
And we see this with multi-generational homes where, they get passed to, from one member of the family to the other. And each time that happens, each family member kind of puts their special touch on it. So
absolutely.
So what was Rebecca's special touch with this project?
She wanted more daylight and better efficiency and low to zero maintenance. That was her big goal.
Right.
And we came in, we educated her on what was available and then what we had to offer and why we believed that this was the best material to invest in, that we were the best company to invest in when it came to an installation perspective. Our in-house GC license, gave us not only the expertise, but the authority to come in and do this work on a very proper and educated way. And so, we did a bunch of sliding doors for her. We did these giant squared and pentagon windows. And man, she was in tears at the end of it. She was so happy. She was very much looking forward to her install day, when I know a lot of people out there are kind of dreading that install day.
That's awesome. And now that we've established, some of the differences, and pros and cons of remodeling versus replacement versus repairs, let's talk about, some of the qualifications that homeowners need to consider when choosing the right window and door company for this type of work. Because I know we specifically have our general contractor's license. That's not, common in the window and door industry,
right.
So we can go a little bit deeper. But what are some things that, homeowners need to look out for in respect to those qualifications?
I think there's 3 aspects that I personally look for when choosing to work with folks in this type of business. The quality of the product, and by the product, I don't just mean the window, but I also mean the installation, that service of it. Are those 2 things that I'm going to be confident in? Are those 2 things that I can believe in, that I can find trust in? And then the other is a good reputation for the company. Not just what happens when it goes well, but what happens when it doesn't always go well, because human beings are running these things and we don't always get it right.
And we're dealing with 1920s.
Yeah, we're dealing with 1920s A-frame houses. So we bring the best we can and we learn along the way with humility. And so that's what I would want to know is, hey, when everything goes good, obviously there's no reason to talk about anything, it's just let it be great. Mm-hmm. But what happens when something goes off or goes wrong? How are we going to handle that? What's our relationship going to be when that happens? And if I can find trust in a company with that answer, then I feel confident. The last thing is going to be that ROI, that return on investment. Not just in time, or not just in money, but also in time. And so will this product last? Do I not have to maintain it? Is it going to keep the value in the home, save energy on my cooling and heating bills? Time is valuable also. And so you want to look at the original investment, how much of that am I going to get back in a possible resell, all of that. But my time is worth something too. Yeah. So the least amount of time I can be thinking about these windows and worrying about it in the back of my mind is going to be way more beneficial to me as a homeowner. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of brings me back to one of our brand messages is, we only want people to have to do this project once.
Right. Absolutely.
And unfortunately, that's not always the case
right
in this business. So,
yeah, the perspectives are different among different people.
Yeah, whether it's product related or installation related. And, for us, we're always training. We're always trying to get better. We're always looking at the latest, greatest methodologies or materials that, go into these projects. There's so much more than just a window or door. So
absolutely.
Well, this has been great, Sean. I enjoyed having you on. We try to keep these short, so we'll go ahead and wrap this up. Any final parting thoughts that you'd like to share with homeowners that are considering a window and door project? Let me just kind of bring up this point. We do handle everything turnkey. So,
right.
When somebody is considering the project, whether they're just replacing or they want to remodel, they don't have to go out and find different contractors.
Right.
If it needs finish painting or whatever, we're going to provide that for them. So, one-stop shop, turnkey, product, labor, material, finishing, everything. So you don't have to deal with multiple contractors. So I know that's a huge benefit, but share with us some final thoughts and we'll wrap this up.
I'm just very excited to be able to do what I love to do. And I know a lot of people don't always find that so soon in life. And so, I very much look forward to coming into your home, talking to you about your window and door project and seeing how we can help make that place something that you find joy in. One of the questions I ask customers every day is, what do you want to see when you wake up? And what do you want to see when you come home? Like, tell me about your vision, tell me about your dream, and let's work from there. I would just encourage folks to consider everything, we've talked about. And if we, fit the narrative for you and you can find value with us in this product, then give us a call.
Well, I know you love helping people. You're passionate about this, and it's certainly shown in your success here. So thank you so much for being on the podcast.
You got it.
Thanks to all of our listeners. We really appreciate your subscriptions and your positive ratings. If you'd like to see some examples of some of our work, visit us at NG Windows on both Instagram and Facebook.